Hey guys, so today I wanted to show you a quick video on how to get comfortable, if you will, on how to get the Fairlight CMI emulation up and running on MAME. You have to run a little bit of extra commands, extra arguments in the command line in order to get this working, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. But I want to reiterate, before we continue, I want to reiterate that this driver is extremely preliminary. A lot of work has been done on it already, but it's still very much preliminary. There's absolutely no support whatsoever for the voice cards or any sound whatsoever. So trying to load the system disk for like regular page R and whatnot, that's just going to do nothing because it's going to try and talk to voice cards that don't exist. So what we want to do is, so right now it can only load QDOS and diagnostic disks and stuff like that, and that's what we're in right now. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to get that all set up here. So we're going to go to the command line, and I have I'm going to go ahead and exit the emulator so I can type stuff. And so what we're going to do is we're going to type in the name of the program, which is MAME64, and then we're going to type in the ROM, which is CMI2X. Now, these are the ROM files that were ripped from the main board and the mainframe of the computer. So it's like video drivers and character sets and things of that nature. Let's see here. Now, if we were to just load that, I have this window command here, so that way it doesn't open in full screen. But I have this window command here, so that when we launch it, you'll see what happens. See what happens if we load just the it just sits there because it's expecting us to load the system disk and the floppy drive, but we can't virtually load it. We have to tell the emulator beforehand. Also, I'm going to go ahead and show you really quick here. You saw that blue crosshair in the middle. That's actually the crosshairs for your mouse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit scroll lock. Go ahead, hit scroll lock. That's going to put you in a partial emulation status for your keyboard. And what that basically means is allows you to do the hotkeys for MAME in this mode. So I can hit tab to get to the menu here. You just simply go to crosshair options and then use the arrow keys to switch it off, and that way you're good there, because that dot in the middle there, that's actually your cursor for the light pen right there. So go back and exit out of that. So we need to load a floppy disk. So in order to do that, we have to type in a command. It's going to be flop1, and then it's going to be the directory where our disk image is. And then I'm going to use window again because that's just me. You don't have to use window, but I like having it in a window mode instead of taking up the full screen. And then you want to use dash mouse, and that's going to let you use the light pen. And then we'll hit enter. And again, we get that warning of, this machine doesn't work, so it's still very preliminary. So there's my cursor. And there it loads QDOS. There you go. And then we can go to DOS. And you could do cool stuff like that. And pull up a directory. And then let's see here. So it said work disk. If you place it in the right drive. So what we want to do is, if you have a work disk, then what you would do is you would go ahead, bring up your command again, and then you would add a flop 2 and then the directory of where your ROM, your floppy image is. I have a test one that I named LOL. And so there it goes, loads again. And there you didn't see that prompt the second time there. So it loaded both of those floppies. So now what happens, just for fun, if we would try to load the system disk for Series 2X, so like the actual good old Fairlight interface that we all know and love. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of that and then go back to command line. I'm going to rename this to flop 1, get rid of that guy. And then we'll see what happens right here. So it's loading the system disk. Everything seems honky-dory so far. And then uh-oh. So basically what's happening here is that the computer is trying to write to the voice cards, and the voice cards don't exist. So it just goes unbelievably slow, and then yeah, so that's the problem right now that we have. But it's still it's still you know, really cool that we finally have like actual emulation of the Fairlight. And so hopefully in the near future we'll actually be able to do stuff like page R again, and you know, waveform display. Because for me, I never actually used the Fairlight, and I would love to see those features in person. So especially on like my own waveforms and stuff like that. It's just something really cool to actually have the actual real software, even though it's emulated. You know, it's still better than nothing, and you know, it's really awesome to actually see the stuff run and draw like the old school style. So anyway, enough rambling. So hopefully this guide was helpful, and if you have any other questions, you can go ahead and contact me, and I'll do my best to help out. Thanks so much for watching.